Okay, I am not a lawyer, but even I know that if you are under indictment and facing a trial, it is best not to speak publicly about the case for fear of hurting one's own defense. We all know Donald Trump has not learned that lesson, leading to 2 gag orders being put in place. And some of his co-defendants in the Georgia election interference case have decided to follow his lead. There's Harrison Floyd, the leader of Black Voices for Trump, who almost saw his bond agreement revoked last month following a series of social media posts that prosecutors argued intimidated and threatened witnesses in the case. And now Trevian Kutti, the former publicist for Kanye West, appears to be doing the same. Kutti, you may remember, faces charges involving pressuring Georgia election worker Ruby Freeman to falsely confess to Trump's baseless voter fraud claims or face dire consequences. Last week, Kutti took to Instagram Live and, while never referring to Freeman by name, appeared to directly threaten her.
Everybody's alive. There's no murder weapon. As a matter of fact, there's a woman sitting somewhere who knows this whole thing is a lie. Who knows I never did anything to her? Who knows who knows she begged me for help? There's a woman sitting somewhere who knows that I'm going to her whole life up when this is done.
Joining me now is Katie Phang, host of the Katie Phang Show on MSNBC. I think we're both SMHing. This was her mugshot. The other thing she said in this live is that she practiced this, that this was purposeful.
For 2
and that
hours.
She wanted to look like this. Yeah. I'm just going to let you talk, Katie, because I'm not a lawyer, but I know that was dumb to do an Instagram Live and basically threaten the witness maybe again. Go ahead. Talk.
So when I was a prosecutor, Joy, I used to tell juries, I can't promise to give you a smart defendant, but I'm giving you a defendant. And that's Trevian Kutti, right? She's not a smart defendant. None of them can be smart if they drank the Trump Kool-Aid and helped in a conspiracy to do what they did, right? But Trevian Kutti, you mentioned it in the setup, right? The one possible out she may have is that she didn't actually refer to Ruby Freeman by name. But we're not stupid, and neither is Judge McAfee, and certainly not DA Fani Willis. And so the reason why I say that is Fani Willis could seek revocation of Trevian Kutti's bond status because her bond conditions that Kutti stipulated to, meaning she agreed to, is that she's not allowed to threaten, intimidate, harass any victim, any witness, any co-defendant in the case. But what's problematic is she posts on social media as well. It's not just Instagram Live. She posts on Twitter as well. And so she's just inviting more trouble. And she is, it's an indication of a systemic problem that we're having with these co-defendants in Fulton County, running from Trump to Harrison Floyd to Trevian Kutti. They don't keep their mouths shut. They're making the case easier for Fani Willis. Why? Because why would Trevian Kutti be threatening somebody if she didn't think that there was some exposure to her if that person opens their mouth and they testify? The other stupidity that comes into play with Trevian Kutti, as well as Harrison Floyd, they're being prosecuted as a part of a larger RICO conspiracy, but she's being prosecuted for threatening Ruby Freeman. What does she do on Instagram Live? Threaten Ruby Freeman. I mean, it's consistency. At least I'll give her the gold star for that, but I'll definitely give her an F for intelligence when it comes to dealing with a criminal prosecution.
You know, black on black crime is way before its time. It strikes me that these 2 black defendants, 2 blacks for Trump, both seem obsessed with Ruby Freeman and her daughter. It wasn't enough for them to allegedly harass them and cause them to get death threats, joining the former mayor of New York in doing that, and he's getting sued for it, Rudy. If that wasn't enough, they seem obsessed with them. Could that become an issue? Because he, Mr. Blacks for Trump, avoided being jailed. He got through. Could this judge now be so fed up that he decides to make an example of Ms. Kutti?
No, because you can't be, the sins of another cannot be imputed to you. So McAfee's not going to punish Kutti if the law isn't met, if the standard isn't met by Fani Willis. But is it kind of setting the tone for prospective jurors to see that these defendants are so reckless that they're willing to continue their intimidation and harassment tactics to be able to achieve an end goal? Because the end goal is to intimidate them to not testify. But, you know, the one thing that we find, Joy, is that somebody like Ruby Freeman and Shay Moss, they've already stood up to this intimidation. They've already said, not on my watch, I won't let democracy be hurt by you. And so it's foolish, right? If you think about it, it's not like they haven't already been tested, Ruby Freeman and Shay Moss, and they've already delivered what they can and which they will continue to do, which is justice.